The most beautiful girl in the whole school falls in love with the unluckiest guy in the world. Izumi is just an average guy like you and me. Our friend is getting ready for his first day of school, but he has something that not many do, a world-class streak of bad luck. As he leaves the house, his mom warns him to be careful, and we soon see why. Within just 7 seconds, he trips, messes up his hair, narrowly avoids bird droppings, and falls down. But at least he has something to brighten his life. His girlfriend, Miyako. Yes, even this guy has a girlfriend. Miyako is the most popular girl in school. Beautiful, intelligent, strong, basically perfect. That's why sometimes Izumi feels insecure, not knowing if someone like him should be with her, especially given his bad luck. But she reassures him, telling him not to think that way, that she'll always be there to protect him. When they arrive at school and see which class they're in, both of them are lucky enough to be in the same class along with their best friends, Nico and Inuzuka. During introductions, Izumi's bad luck strikes again as he stumbles over his words, and minutes later, while a girl erases the board, the eraser slips and heads straight for Izumi's head. But as always, his girlfriend is there to save him. However, Izumi isn't foolish. He activates his charm, causing the girl to blush and becomes so flustered that she leaves. But while the girl is gone, a group of guys approaches Izumi and comments on how beautiful his girlfriend is, wondering how a guy like him could get someone like her. Little do they know, the girl is listening, and when she enters the room, she takes Izumi's hand and then shows the guys a bit of her power. As they leave, she tells him not to pay attention to others' comments, but Izumi fears that something bad might happen to her because of his bad luck. Later, the group of friends decides to go bowling, and Miyako's friends tell her it's the perfect opportunity to get closer to her boyfriend. She just has to pretend she's bad at bowling so he'll help her, but it's Izumi who needs the help because he can't do anything. When it's Miyako's turn, she's about to follow her friend's advice, but Izumi encourages her, and that's enough for her to forget everything and start scoring point after point, even drawing everyone's attention. When they finish, Izumi suggests that the loser should treat the winner, and Miyako asks him to accompany her home as her prize. On the way, Izumi tells her again that she's beautiful and good at everything while he's just good for nothing. But as he says it, a sign is about to fall on him. Is this a Final Destination movie or a romance anime? Anyway, she tells him not to listen to others' comments. She loves him just the way he is and always will. She's there to protect him. The next day, there's a mini soccer tournament. The problem is it's a great opportunity for Izumi to get injured, but what encourages him is that Miyako will be playing even against the best in the school. So the way Izumi helps her is by giving her support, something she really likes. Izumi may have bad luck, but he knows how to charm. In the game, our friend doesn't do too badly. Or, well, he doesn't have such bad luck. Or, well, just for a while. After getting hit on the head, our friend heads to the nurse's office, but not alone because his girlfriend goes with him. She tells him to be careful when he plays, but Izumi insists he should go to her game. However, the girl has other plans in mind. She tells him she wants to cheer with him. What did he say? However, it's all just a game, or maybe not, because when they leave the infirmary, the girl is as red as a tomato. At the girls' game, they meet who could be considered Miyako's rival, Kamiya. You could say she's just as good at everything as our friend, and she proves it because when the game starts, Kamiya starts dominating everyone, even Miyako. But that changes when the support arrives. Her boyfriend Izumi sees that his girlfriend's team is losing, and although he's embarrassed, he gives her a shout of encouragement. This fires up the girls, not just Miyako, because all the girls get pumped and start scoring points. It's like an episode of Haikyuu, and in the end, Miyako and her team secure the victory. An interesting thing is that Kamiya seems to know Izumi. After the game, everyone is excited about winning, but Miyako is happier because Izumi came to support her. However, things get complicated the next day, because since the girls won the game, they're now kind of like idols in the school, so much so that all the girls want photos and autographs from them. The problem is, even though Miyako wants to spend time with Izumi, she can't because of the other girls. Also, now that his girlfriend is more famous than before, this triggers more insecurities in Izumi. But Inuzuka tells him to stop being an insecure crybaby and to appreciate the girlfriend he has. A good message. The problem is, while they're talking, Izumi's bad luck comes into play again, and a ball comes through the window. But like a good friend, Inuzuka sacrifices himself for him, which worries Izumi. But when he does, it awakens certain jealousy in Miyako. This girl might be a secret tsundere. At the end of the day, the boys go to their separate houses because Inuzuka almost went to the lobby that day. But as Izumi walks, he thinks he's alone and almost falls down the stairs. But just in time, his heroine arrives. She tells him that if he plans to leave, he needs her permission. Besides, he's been spending more time with Inuzuka, which makes her jealous. But Izumi tells her that's not true. He won't leave without her because he'll wait for her at the school gate. All he wants is to spend more time with her. The next day, Inuzuka gives Izumi some movie tickets he got at work, but since he can't go, it's better if Izumi goes with someone. And that someone is listening to the conversation attentively, and when Izumi tells the girl, she already knows how she's going to be dressed. The day arrives, and our friend is more than excited, but that excitement finishes when he remembers that every time he's gone out with Miyako, things haven't gone very well, like the time it rained or he lost his wallet with all his money for the month. But this time will be different. Izumi packs everything just in case, although his backpack breaks because of so many things. But that doesn't stop him. When the day of the date arrives, our friend goes with the best of energies, especially when he sees his girlfriend. When they enter the cinema, Izumi doesn't know which movie his girl will choose, but she tells him to choose. But for the first time, our guy takes courage and tells Miyako that she always lets him choose, but this time she must do it to see the movie she likes the most. The problem is the girl chooses a horror movie, but Izumi tells himself it's time to be the man in the relationship. Although when the movie starts, our friend almost faints from fear, and I don't blame him. That stuff is scary. But it's no problem because his girl is there for him. As they leave the cinema, Izumi suggests grabbing something to eat, but inflation has also hit the anime world, and prices are through the roof. However, it's not a problem for our guy because he has enough money. That is, if he hadn't lost his wallet, which he had tied to his pants. Unfortunately, the tape he used to tie it broke. Disappointed, they both head home, but on the way, they run into Izumi's parents. Upon hearing what happened, they invite Miyako to dinner, which makes her happy, but nervous at the same time. However, she makes a very good impression because Izumi's parents see that their son not only has a girlfriend but also a bodyguard. Dinner goes more than well, and when they finish eating, Miyako tells Izumi she was super nervous. When he asks her why, she says it's because she's meeting the parents of the love of her life. Minutes later, our friend falls asleep, and Miyako offers to do the dishes. While the girls chat, Izumi's mom thanks Miyako for always taking care of her son. But then she gets serious and tells her that since he was a child, Izumi was always the one getting hurt. Taking care of him is difficult, and she knows it can be tiring at times. So she asks Miyako not to hurt her son if she ever gets tired of him. What she didn't expect was Miyako's response because the girl confidently tells her that will never happen. She loves Izumi precisely because, out of all people, he's the one who knows pain the most. But despite that, he always has a smile on his face, always helping others. He's the man of her life. After that great speech, Izumi wakes up and tells his parents he'll walk Miyako home. And at that moment, the protagonist's mother realizes her son stopped being a child a long time ago. Summer has arrived, and with it, global warming. But it's nothing Miyako isn't prepared for. The boy is now planning where to go that summer, but Izumi remembers that going to the beach for him is like a death sentence. But his friends take that into consideration and decide it's best to go to a river so everyone will have fun, although Izumi's plan is better, which is to stay in an air-conditioned house. When they arrive and drive in class, the boys realize they have the afternoon off, so they head to the mall to buy some things for the river. Miyako asks Izumi if he'll buy a swimsuit, but he tells her no, because he doesn't know what will happen if he goes swimming, which saddens the girl because she wanted to see him in better attire. But since her beloved won't be going into the river, she also decides not to buy a swimsuit. Although her opinion changes when she sees Izumi looking at a poster of a girl in a swimsuit, so knowing that he likes that swimsuit, she rushes to buy it. But in reality, Izumi only looked at the poster because the girl seemed muscular to him. In the store, Miyako manages to find the swimsuit, and Nico tells her she doesn't like losing. And we go back to the past where the girls became friends. Miyako had always had that captivating aura that attracted everyone, including Nico. That's why Nico was super interested in being her friend, or well, something more, because she really liked Miyako. Miyako was the perfect girl for her, so it was love at first sight. She'd do whatever it takes to be her friend. That's why she tries at the basketball game, but since they were rivals, Miyako got serious, especially since her guy was watching. So she gives it her all, and with her effort, she manages to beat Nico. Nico liked Miyako, but she knew she was Izumi's girlfriend, so she kept her feelings to herself and ended up just being Miyako's friend. In the present, the girls meet up with the guys, and maybe Izumi isn't very perceptive about everything, but he's observant. When he sees Miyako's face, he knows she's bought something, which surprises Nico a lot because she can't understand how he knows so much about her. Plus, she realizes that it's actually Izumi who has Miyako smitten. The next day, our friend laments because his 5 pens didn't work during the exam. If it wasn't for his teacher lending him one, he would have failed the exam. This worries him a lot because he knows exams are important, so he can't sleep. But at that hour, Miyako calls him and tells him she knew he'd be awake because of exam nerves, although she also says she called because she wanted to hear his voice. To find a conversation topic, Izumi tells her he looks at the stars to feel like they're together. Miyako says she really likes the stars, to which he replies they've always fascinated him, but whenever he went with his dad to see them, it rained. Knowing this, Miyako tells him she'll take him to see the stars no matter what it takes. Now Izumi tells her she always worries more about him than herself. For example, they decided to go to the river instead of the beach for him, things he appreciates but also feels strange about because he wants his friends to decide what's best for them. Besides, he wants to take her somewhere she truly likes, somewhere she wants to go. But Miyako tells him there's no place she wants to go if it's not with him. He's her favorite place, there's no other. Long live romance. Later, Izumi's mom invites our friend to cooking classes, and that's where we find out where Izumi got his bad luck. Although Izumi's mom also has her protect her so much so that she tells her she's very pretty and she would even go out with her. Does everyone want to cheer with Miyako? Finally, the day of the river has arrived, and everyone is ready. The best moment has arrived, which is to prepare the barbecue, and Inuzuka starts chopping the onion, but the guy has no skill for that. But the worst-case scenario happens because Izumi is the one who takes the knife, and everyone prepares for the worst. But to their surprise, the guy is an expert. Izumi tells them that since he was a kid, he helped his parents prepare food at home, so he has a lot of experience. Now that everyone is dividing tasks, some are doing the meat, and others are chopping the vegetables. On the other hand, Miyako wants to prove to Izumi that she can cook too. The cooking class must have served something, so she prepares some delicious garlic shrimp. Izumi can only think that his girlfriend is perfect. She's beautiful, intelligent, and can cook. Although that's up in the air because when Izumi tries it, he almost goes to heaven, and not precisely because they were delicious, but quite the opposite. And when the girl tries her creation, she realizes that cooking isn't for her. Even if our friend gathers courage and takes another bite of the food because he knows his girlfriend put a lot of love into making it. After that disaster, everyone eats the barbecue that the others made, and then comes the moment of the desserts that Izumi made. Everyone is amazed by his desserts, especially Miyako, who tells him she would love to eat them every day. When it's time to swim, Izumi notices that his girlfriend is a bit nervous, but he doesn't know it's because she's wearing the swimsuit she bought, but she's embarrassed to show it. To cheer her up, Nico calls Miyako, but Izumi stays for a while admiring the scenery. But while he does, he notices a little girl, and the bad thing is that the current is taking her downstream. So our friend goes into Superman mode and without thinking, jumps into the river to help her. At first, the girl is scared to see him, but when she realizes he wants to help, she calms down. Izumi manages to bring her to the shore. The girl climbs up and Izumi gives her his float, but everything seems to be going too well for him, and just as he's about to climb up, he gets a cramp in his foot. The girl realizes something is wrong and screams for help, and the others quickly arrive. Miyako jumps in a second. Izumi thinks it's the end for him, but just as he's about to enter the afterlife, his girlfriend arrives to save him. In a matter of seconds, she takes him to the shore. When he wakes up, he thanks Miyako, but she's upset because he pushed her away, but she's happy that nothing happened. Then the girl thanks Izumi for saving her with a kiss, which makes Miyako jealous. After all that, it's time for everyone to have fun. While they all watch the river fish, Izumi can't stop looking at Miyako and tells her she's very beautiful. After all that, everyone goes to the town to buy some things, and they see an ice cream stand and decide to go. When they're eating, Miyako tells him to try her ice cream, but in a somewhat curious way. Now it's her turn, but Inuzuka arrives just in time to ruin the romantic moment. The day is over, and everyone goes back, although as usual, returning from a trip makes you very sleepy, and that's the case for our friends. The best part is that Miyako falls asleep on Izumi's shoulder. Our friend tries to think of anything to keep his Titan asleep, but in the end, he also falls asleep, but not next to her, but with his friend. The trip to the river took its toll because, due to Izumi's weak body, he's now sick, so they won't be able to be together for a while. But that won't last long because Izumi sees on TV that the city festival is approaching, and the fireworks will be impressive. So Izumi forgets he's sick and invites Miyako to the festival. The day arrives, and Izumi gets ready for the festival, but his dad's yukata doesn't fit him, and it's obvious Izumi's dad is like the Hulk. Miyako isn't doing very well either because she's never been to a festival, so she can't fix her clothes, but her brother comes to save her. Yes, the girl has a handsome brother who's almost as handsome as Gojo. Everything is ready for the couple to have an unforgettable day. Izumi brings everything he can carry, and even divides his money into 3 wallets so he won't lose it. But what he loses is his gaze because when Miyako arrives, she looks super cute. When the two arrive at the festival, Izumi takes her to eat cotton candy, but the girl tells him she doesn't like sweet things in general, but she does like his desserts. Although this time, the cotton candy is too sweet for her. Like in every festival, and even worse in romance anime, Izumi is a perfect game to show off with his girlfriend and win a plushie for her. But we don't have to wait long because Izumi doesn't achieve anything. So it's time for the real protagonist, Miyako, to get serious and manage to hit all the plushies, earning the one she wanted. But as she's the alpha, Miyako gives the plushie to her boyfriend, impressing even the vendor. Then the others arrive, and the girls admire Miyako's beauty while the boys play a bit. But the girls realize that the fireworks are about to start and tell the couple to hurry up. The couple runs to the place where they'll have the best view of the fireworks, but now the bad luck goes to Miyako because her sandal breaks. She manages to walk barefoot for a while, but she can't continue for long. For that reason, the couple won't be able to see the fireworks. Or that's what Miyako thinks because Izumi tells her to get on his back because they're going to a place his dad told him, a secret place to watch the fireworks. Even though the girl doesn't want Izumi to exert himself too much, he tells her everything will be fine. This time Izumi shows that he's not weak at all, because he manages to carry Miyako for a long time and even climbs several stairs. When the two arrive at the secret place, they realize that the effort was worth it. The girl also apologizes for the trouble she caused. She doesn't want him to see her making a fool of herself, but Izumi tells her it's okay. He's her boyfriend, and they should trust each other. He knows she hates it when people think she's weak, but he also likes that side of her, and with those sweet words, they both enjoy the moment. Now they have to go down the stairs, but here is where the bad luck strikes, but also Izumi's dad, who rescues them at the last moment. And why were his parents there? Well, they also went to see the fireworks. At the end of the day, everything went well. You know what else can't be missing in a romance anime? That's right, the school festival. Izumi's task is to be on the costume team, which he does well because he can knit. Meanwhile, Miyako is on the set design team, but since she's not with her beloved, she gets a little jealous that he's with more girls. On the first day, everything starts well, or more or less, because now everyone is in costumes. But Izumi feels embarrassed to be like that, but his embarrassment disappears when he sees Miyako dressed as a bunny. What his class is a cafe, but since our friend isn't so good at doing many things at once, he struggles a lot to take everyone's orders, especially when someone drops a napkin. And as usual, he slips, and also as usual, his girlfriend saves him. Although this time, she tells him to be serious and watch where he's walking, because he's in front of everyone. At the end of the first day of the festival, Izumi tells his girlfriend that the next day, due to the draw they made with the others, he has to take care of the library all afternoon, but he'll do it with someone else, whom he still doesn't know who it is. The next day, Izumi arrives at the library and finds Kamaya there. The girl is glad to see him. While sorting out the books, Izumi tells Kamaya that she would probably prefer being with her other classmates rather than sorting books, but the girl tells him it's the opposite. She doesn't deny that she enjoys being with her friends, but she really appreciates the calm moments, especially if they're together. To better understand how they met, let's go back a year. Just like this year, a year ago, Izumi and Kamaya were assigned to the same activity. At first, Izumi was nervous because he didn't know Kamaya's character, but when he got to know her, he realized she was quite kind and understanding, which he liked a lot. He constantly let Kamaya know this, which also pleased her because everyone told her she was pretty and smart, but nobody told her the things Izumi did. Now in the present, Kamaya is a bit nervous and asks Izumi why he's changed a bit and thinks it's because he now has a girlfriend. At that moment, Kamaya's attitude changes as she gets closer to him and asks him why he became Miyako's boyfriend, as if she were confessing to him. In Izumi's mind, he can only think that Kamaya is asking him this because she also likes Miyako. But before we find out, let's move to Miyako. She's upset because in the school lottery, she didn't get the same number as Izumi. Let me explain. There's a story at school that if a couple draws the same number in the lottery, they're destined to be together forever. This happened the previous year, so now Miyako is determined and wants whoever gets Izumi's number to trade with her. Speaking of Izumi, he tells Kamaya that the previous year he had drawn the same number as Miyako, and they both knew what that meant, so they spent the whole day very nervous about what was going to happen. But when it came time to take the picture, Izumi had lost his ticket. However, he wouldn't give up, so he begged the school president with all his heart to let him take the picture with Miyako. He would do anything to make it happen. Seeing Izumi's determination, the president gave him a new number and said he would take their picture. After they did, Miyako took him behind the school and was the one who confessed her love to him, and obviously he accepted, thus starting their story. Meanwhile, in Kamaya's mind, she imagines herself entering a castle where all her friends are waiting for her. But they're not waiting for just anyone. They're waiting for her prince, Izumi. She sees him with love in her eyes. He's her ideal type. She's in love with him. But just as she's about to reach him, Miyako enters and goes to him. Although it's sad, Kamaya understands that no matter how much she loves Izumi, her love is not reciprocated, and she's happy to see him happy. Kamaya moves to the friend zone. After all that, the two are talking about the things they like, but they're interrupted by Nico, and it's because Miyako is there to ask Kamaya for a number exchange. Kamaya realizes it's Izumi's girlfriend, and although she hesitates for a moment, she decides to give her number to Miyako. When Izumi comes out to see what's going on, he finds everyone there, but Miyako manages to hide the number. Kamaya tells him that there are only 10 minutes left before the library closes, so he can go, but he tells her he won't do that. He'll stay with her until the end, which makes her blush and surprises Miyako. To wait for her beloved, Miyako stays in a library, but while she's there, she sees that her boyfriend gets along very well with Kamaya, and upon seeing Kamaya, she knows that Kamaya likes Izumi. After finishing her turn at library duty, the boys say goodbye. Miyako and Izumi leave together, while Kamaya returns to her classroom, where all her admirers are waiting for her. Like Miyako, Kamaya is like a celebrity within the school. Everyone admires her, takes photos with her, and all the boys want to be her boyfriend. However, in Kamaya's mind, there's only one person, Izumi. The girl tries with all her might to forget Izumi, but she can't, so to get some fresh air she goes to the rooftop, where by some magic, Miyako knows she's there, and the two start talking. Miyako tells Kamaya that she'll return the number because she feels like she's cheating. However, Kamaya tells her that everyone exchanges numbers. It's nothing different. But Miyako tells her that her case is important because she knows that she likes Izumi. Kamaya thinks that the pink-haired girl will tell her she doesn't want her to get close to Izumi, but it's quite the opposite because Miyako tells her she doesn't want problems with her. Additionally, she knows that the person she likes, Izumi, isn't a bad person. Kamaya asks if she's sure about what she's going to do, because it's giving her more hope. Also, Kamaya tells her she doesn't want a number for her. It's just that, nothing more. She knows that things between her and Izumi can't happen, and she's not willing to confess her love either. But as she says that, she can only remember the times they spent hours in the library and how she dressed up every day to look beautiful for him. The girl can't take it anymore and starts crying in front of Miyako. Kamaya apologizes to her for not being able to hide her feelings, but what Miyako does is tear up the number and immediately hug Kamaya. She tells her she appreciates how respectful she is, but hiding all her feelings will only harm her. If Izumi sees her in that state, he'll worry a lot. With those words and seeing that Miyako is an excellent girl, Kamaya feels more at ease and tells her everything is okay, and she should go with Izumi because he must be worried. In the end, Kamaya just saw how someone else got her Prince Charming. Later, Izumi remembers that he has to give Miyako the gift he bought her for their anniversary and her birthday because both happen on the same day. So after the party with all their classmates, the couple goes to the park. Izumi gives her the gift he bought with great affection, which was a beautiful necklace. While he puts the necklace on her, he tells his girlfriend that no matter what happens, he'll always be by her side. But now Miyako is insecure because she tells him that everyone is starting to see the great guy he is, which she likes, but it also scares her because many girls will like him, and she's very afraid of losing him. But Izumi tells her that if she thinks that way, she's wrong. He'll never let her go or trade her for another girl. She's his girlfriend, and he'll always be in love with her. These words make the girl cry, and she also tells the protagonist that she won't let him go anywhere. After a few days, Izumi gets sick, so he can't go to school, which is why he asked Inuzuka for his notes. And once again, Miyako gets jealous because her boyfriend preferred to ask something from his friend rather than her. That's why, and because of all the things that have happened, Miyako thinks that Inuzuka doesn't like him, but the others tell him that's not true. They just need to spend some time together. However, when they talk to Miyako, she tells them that Izumi always asks for favors from Inuzuka. They hug and spend a lot of time together, which worries her. So to smooth things over, Miyako tells Inuzuka that she'll accompany him to Izumi's house. While the two walk to her boyfriend's house, Inuzuka wants to ask Miyako if she dislikes him, but the girl doesn't let him finish his question and tells him to enter his store. There, the girl is undecided about what to buy for Izumi, so she asks Inuzuka for help, and he knows very well what his friend likes. The weird thing is that while shopping, the girl calls Inuzuka brother, and the detective of this anime will tell us why. When the two of them leave the supermarket, Miyako gives Inuzuka some candy and tells him to take it because she bought it for him. Hakioji enters the scene and tells them that she's been following them to see what was going on between the two of them. And now that she's seen Miyako's personality better, she has concluded that the girl sees Inuzuka as her older brother, and that's why she treats him that way. Miyako confirms this by saying that he and her brother share many things, and that's why she has that trust with Inuzuka. Although the boy thinks that trust means she treats him poorly, he knows she doesn't do it intentionally, but with affection. The next day is Girls' Day, and Miyako goes with Nico to the mall to have fun. While the two walk, they run into Kamaya. Seeing her alone, Miyako tells her friend to invite her to join them, and before she can say it, Nico is already inviting her. Despite always rejecting any invitations, this time Kamaya accepts. Now the three stroll around the mall. The best part is that Miyako and Kamaya end up getting along very well, so much so that they seem like they would make very good friends. After leaving the mall, the girls go to play some basketball, but other girls tell them they have to reserve the court, but if they want, they can play against them. To cut the story short, the protagonists win. At the end of the day, when the girls say goodbye, Kamaya asks Miyako if they can hang out again, the three of them, but this time as friends. Miyako says yes. When Kamaya and Nico are alone, Kamaya apologizes to Nico for always telling her no many times when she invited her out, but Nico tells her it's okay, because now she's glad she's smiling more because in the past, she always looked sad. When Nico tells her that Miyako is Izumi's girlfriend, she sees Kamaya's face and immediately knows she likes Izumi, so she knows it must be very difficult for Kamaya. So she'll do everything possible to make her smile more. The two girls who went to the friend zone ended up being friends after the sports festival. It's time for the cultural festival, so the teacher tells everyone to pick a random paper to know what they'll compete in. The worst or most demanding is the relay race, and as Izumi's bad luck can't leave him, he's chosen to be the first. But things also go a bit wrong for Hakioji because she'll also be in the race, and since Miyako doesn't want to leave her alone, she manages to enter along with everyone else. When they talk about how they'll train, Miyako hopes her boyfriend will give her encouragement and tell her they'll win because of her, but he does that with his friend. When they start training, everyone realizes that winning won't be easy because Hakioji runs at a slower pace, and, well, not to mention Izumi. But at least they have 3 stars on their team. This time we see that the weakest link in the group, Hakioji, has a bit of motivation because she doesn't want to disappoint the others. That's why, along with Izumi, the two of them stay to train every night. She tells him that she actually doesn't like running and hardly likes anything, but what she does like is spending time with her friends, and now she wants to see a smile on their faces when they win the race. The day arrives, and everyone is ready, although they're also nervous, and those nerves play against them because the boys lose in their first competition. Now it's Hakioji's turn. The game is simple, to put the maximum number of balls in the basket, but the problem is that it's too high for her. However, something impressive happens because Hakioji takes a bunch of balls and throws them with Olympic precision, and to everyone's surprise, she sinks them all, not once but every time, thus winning the competition. This makes her happy because she can see the smiles on her friends' faces, especially for something she achieved. The most important competition has arrived, the relay race. Hakioji is quite nervous, but Miyako takes her hand and tells her she's been doing great and even if she's afraid, she must try. When the race starts, Nico is the first, and then Hakioji, because she's one of the best athletes in the school. She runs with all her might until she manages to pass the baton to Hakioji. The girl also starts running with all her might, but the others start overtaking her, which worries her a lot. But she knows she must continue. She can't give up. The problem comes when, being so focused on moving her legs, she stumbles and falls to the ground. She thinks it's all over, but remembering that everyone has made a great effort, she gets up and keeps running until finishing the race. Now it's Azumi's turn. Everyone is worried that something bad will happen, but apparently nothing happens. Or well, yes, because while everything is going well, his shoe comes off. But that's not enough to stop him, and he continues until he reaches Miyako. The girl knows they have to win, so she goes turbo and runs faster than Usain Bolt. The last one, and the one with the most weight, is Inuzuka. The boy knows that everyone has put their soul into the race, so he can't disrespect their efforts. He runs as if there were no tomorrow, and despite all the problems they had, they managed to win the race, concluding the sports day. Now it's time to learn a little more about Izumi's past. The boy always had bad luck since he was born. The bad thing was that his bad luck didn't just affect him but everyone around him, because even if he tried, he couldn't prevent something bad from happening to his friends. Because of that, he missed out on many adventures and many people who wanted to be his friends. Izumi was so tired that he decided to go to a temple and ask the gods to please stop bad things from happening to him, to please send him a guardian angel. And that guardian angel is Miyako. From a young age, she proved to be stronger than most. Besides, her brother always tried to raise her to be someone strong who didn't need someone to defend her. But that same thing affected Miyako because all the boys in some way distanced themselves from her because of how strong she was. Or the opposite, they put her on a pedestal and told her she was perfect. But she didn't like this. She simply wanted to be someone like everyone else. What helps her a lot to clear her mind is her brother, because one day, while they are leaving karate class together, he tells her to quit karate, something that surprises her because she had recently won a tournament. So she doesn't understand why he's quitting out of nowhere. To this, her brother tells her that there isn't a specific reason, he just wants to try something else, and she should do the same. She shouldn't follow in her brother's or her mother's footsteps. She should decide her own path. With this in mind, Miyako decides to quit karate too, and when her classmate lends her a manga, she starts reading it, and in it, she sees a boy she likes. And thanks to that, her new mentality begins, a mentality where she wants to be the prettiest and most polite girl so that her Prince Charming will notice her. When the time comes to enter high school, she goes in with all her energy, but then she sees a boy looking at a tree. That boy turns out to be Izumi, and as always, something bad has happened to him. This time, his registration form was in a tree. The girl hesitates about whether to help him or not because she doesn't want to show him her rough side, but seeing that Izumi is in trouble, she decides to do it. She climbs the tree and succeeds, although she's also embarrassed that he saw her like that. But for Izumi, it's a different story because he thanks her for what she did. That was great, she's great. When Miyako hears this, her heart beats faster, and from that moment on, she falls in love with Izumi. Yep, that's how it happened. Now, in the present, Miyako is buying clothes to go out with Izumi, but as always, she's indecisive. But her brother always saves her. The best date of their lives is about to begin, and Izumi is a little nervous because it's the first time they're going to an amusement park together. But those nerves go away when he sees how beautiful Miyako looks. The date consists of going to the Sleeping Beauty attraction, but the problem is that Miyako doesn't know the story, so Izumi tells her. He also tells her that he wants to see more sides of her. She doesn't always have to be tough and serious. He also wants to see her tender side. When they enter the ride, the atmosphere is beautiful, and it's a good romantic moment for both of them. In fact, it's too much because it feels so good that he falls asleep at the same time the story reaches the kissing point that wakes up the princess. Miyako is ready to wake up her prince, but as always, they are interrupted. When they come out, the couple decides that they will have a great time that day, so they hold hands and start going from game to game. Minutes later, it's time for dinner, but due to a mistake, the restaurant had given their table to someone else. But this turned out to be better than they thought because, as an apology, the restaurant gave them a table even more expensive than the one they had reserved. In fact, they are the only young people there. While they eat, Miyako tells her boyfriend that she wishes to see the world through his eyes because he always sees the good in things and people, something that sometimes frustrates her. But what she loves is that she can only see him. He is her world. Take notes, guys. After dinner, the two of them start walking, but Miyako wants to do something and tells him they should do the same as in a commercial, meaning referring to a kiss. But like 99% of men, he doesn't pick up on the hint and thinks she wants to walk holding hands just like in the commercial. However, after a while, he realizes what she was trying to say when they are in a boat. He gets very nervous, and then suddenly, the electricity goes out. This turns out to be better, because the couple has a moment for themselves. Miyako starts to act romantic and tells him that she likes that he only has eyes for her, that they will always be together, always. I don't know if that was a threat or what, but the good thing is that Izumi liked it so much that he gathers his courage and tells her he loves her and kisses her on the cheek. It's not what we expected, but at least it's something. At that moment, the electricity comes back on, but the girl doesn't want that moment to end, so they enjoy it for a while. The next day, they tell their friends everything that happened, although they are a little disappointed because Izumi didn't give her a real kiss. But when they leave class, the two of them walk, and as always, something happens to Izumi, but his heroine is there. She will always be there to love and protect him. And this is how the anime ends.